Hi, welcome to another It's Good Enough to Eat. Today we are taking the Latke Shotke's recipe from Miss Hannah Hart's book, and we're zhuzhing it up a little bit, and we're also going to do something with some of those pesky leftovers that you might have. It's just after the holiday season. Today we are utilizing leftover mashed potatoes to make potato croquettes. So as you see, I've made myself a little assembly station here. I have some flour for dredging. Mark keeps screwing with me. We're making a gussied up version of the Latke Shotkes with something we probably all have in our fridge after the holiday season, some leftover mashed potatoes. We are going to be turning these into potato croquettes. I've made myself my assembly line here. Remember, very important, season each layer. We've got a base coat of flour for dredging, which I'm going to start seasoning. We've got our eggs for our sticky layer, and we've got some breadcrumbs for our crunchy exterior. I'm going to go pretty simple with my seasoning today. You can use whatever you like, whatever flavors, but this is going to work with pretty much whatever flavorings you might have had in your mashed potatoes already, whether it be garlic, chives, sour cream, what have you. So I'm just going to use some salt, black pepper, garlic, and because I like things spicy, I'm going to use a little bit of cayenne. For the breadcrumbs, you can again use whatever you have on hand. I'm just using plain normal breadcrumbs again so that they fit in with whatever flavors I already have going on. But you can use panko if you like. You can use Italian seasoned breadcrumbs if that's what you like. Again, it's a really forgiving recipe. Use whatever flavors you want. So, I'm just going to take a little scoop of my leftover cold mashed potatoes, roll it into whatever shape I like. I'm going to just do a little patty. Going to lightly put it in the flour. We don't want too much on there. It's just a little base coat. Move it to the egg. Again, let that drip off. And then coat it in our breadcrumbs on all sides. And then I just have a little staging plate here so I can make up a bunch and then put them all in the fryer at once. So, one of my newer favorite toys that I have in the kitchen is this air fryer. I love it not only because it's probably a little healthier than frying things in oil, but because you don't have to worry about disposing of all of that oil afterwards, which is my least favorite part. So it's healthier and it's a little more environmentally conscious. So I'm just going to keep whipping up a bunch of these until I have enough for my first batch. If you feel so inclined, make a few at once so you don't have to keep dipping in each time. It's probably more efficient that way, speaking of an assembly line. You again don't want to do this with fresh mashed potatoes because if they're too warm, then they're going to stick to your hands, not form a nice little self-contained package. And they don't have to look perfect. I mean, it's just mashed potatoes. And you can do this with a lot of leftover things you have. You could use leftover mac and cheese and make little fried mac and cheese balls. You can do leftover rice and coat it and fry it up and make arancini, which is just Italian fried leftover rice balls. So, again, very versatile. Use whatever you like. Your hands are going to get dirty, so don't mind. Hopefully you don't mind your hands being dirty. They say use one hand for wet, one hand for dry. It never really works out. You're going to get messy, so be prepared for it and wash your hands if it bothers you. Okay, we've got our first batch ready to go. I'm going to rinse off my hands again. Then I'm just going to drop these into my fryer basket. Your hands probably will not get that sticky the second time because there's your nice dry coating of breadcrumbs on the outside. But again, you do want to leave some space in between because you want it to get fried evenly. Probably gonna only do 8, but you want to get it to be fried on all edges, so you don't want things touching each other. I'm gonna go ahead and use the French fry setting just for a base. It has it going for 20 minutes, but I'm gonna check that at 10 and maybe give them a flip just to see how things are doing. Make them pretty. Make them all the same size so they cook at the same amount of time. You can also use an ice cream scoop or some other sort of measuring device to make sure that your croquettes are all reasonably the same size. And if you're gonna lick your fingers after this part, make sure you wash your hands before getting back in there. So here we have it. Took about 10 minutes. Let's pull out the nicest looking ones because we want to present pretty food to our people who are eating. So it's a nice way to re-energize your leftovers, make them a little bit different so you don't get bored of eating the same thing, and it looks good enough to eat to me. Looks good enough to eat to me.